Hey everyone, me Kevin here. I wanted to know where the cheapest place was to buy Bitcoin because I wanted to go Bitcoin shopping back when it was like $47,000, but then it took forever for me to get my wire to go from my bank out. So here I am buying it at $56,000. Oh well, that happens. But I invested $27,000 to find out which of 3 platforms I experimented with were the cheapest. Now, I want to say up front, before I mention these 3 platforms, I want to say, my goal is to do this experiment again with other platforms. So what I encourage you to do is go down to the comments, comment your favorite platform, or if you see another comment up top, upvote it. So upvote one for Binance or Coinbase Pro or whatever. I could not get my identity verified on Coinbase, so Coinbase is unfortunately not going to be a part of this. But I'm very, very interested in seeing which companies you want me to review next, and I'll eventually get my identity verified, and I will do it. But in this video, we are going to compare 3 companies that come up a lot, because a lot of folks say, hey, Kevin, and then I get this question all the time. People say, hey, Kevin, I heard what you should do is you should buy Bitcoin on Gemini, and then you should transfer it to BlockFi. But you should definitely not use Robinhood. Like literally, I hear that all day long. So I'm like, okay, let's take $27,000. And what we're going to do is we're going to take $5,000 and buy Bitcoin at $5,000 each on each platform once. So BlockFi, Robinhood, and Gemini, one time with a $5,000 transaction, and then 4 times with a $1,000 transaction. And then we're going to compare how much bottom line Bitcoin we got after those transactions. And we'll see how does the pricing compare. So the way this looks, and just to make sure, the reason I'm doing 5 trials is because ultimately pricing, it is a market, right? It's a moving market. So even within 20 seconds, pricing can fluctuate a little bit. But obviously, if we do 5 trials and we consistently have the same spreads, then there's a little bit of a sign that, okay, probably one platform's cheaper than the other, right? So here's the way I set this up. Take a look at this. So this is the iPad right here. Well, it's a recording of my iPhone on my iPad. Who cares what I'm playing it on? But anyway, I'm just gonna hit play on this and watch how I did this. So I went to Bitcoin, I set this up as a $1,000 purchase on Robinhood. I went to Robinhood on Bitcoin. Then I went to Gemini and I set up a $1,000 buy on a one-time buy on the Gemini platform. There we go, $1,000, and I got it ready to swipe to confirm. Then I'm gonna jump on over to Robinhood just to make sure I'm still at the same window, and we'll go over to BlockFi. So BlockFi, I do the same thing, $1,000, ready to go. And then authorize, swipe up, and purchase, all at the same, roughly the same time. And there's probably 5 seconds between each of them. Let's compare here. So we've got, let's pause there for a moment. See, the Robinhood notification actually came through at the same time as we went in the Gemini transaction, or the Gemini transaction confirmed there. So we can see Gemini went through 0.017, what is that? 16449. And I'll put these all in a spreadsheet in a moment, but let's just keep playing it here. The Robinhood one went through because we saw the notification at that price here. I got 175-ish, and then here we got 173-ish on BlockFi. Okay, cool. So that was just one example, one of the recordings that I did. But what I ended up doing is, like I said, I did this 5 times. And so I ended up with these series of screenshots, which I'm just gonna really quickly show here just for proof that I did these. But I'm gonna put all of these on the spreadsheet. So these are all the screenshots, and what you could see up at the top is that the time varies between all of these different transactions, or the 5 trials that I did. Like, for example, like here's the 5:40 p.m. trial yesterday. Here's Gemini, here's BlockFi, here's Robinhood, right? Here's the 3:28. And I think it was right at where the minute was changing. So it was like 3:28, 3:29, 3:29. Then we've got, here's a 3:26, 3:26, 3:26, right? And then I did another one earlier in the day too, which I showed here. Yeah, here we go, 10:19. 10:19, 10:19, 10:19. So anyway, I did this 5 times. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull up the spreadsheet and show you the difference of what I got. The first thing that I did was I put it all on a spreadsheet like this, and I put down, okay, what were the trades that I made? These were the purchases, the 5 different purchases at approximately what time I did. And then I wrote down how much Bitcoin I got, which is basically the screenshots that I showed you. So you can fact check me with those screenshots that I showed you. And so this is how much Bitcoin I got. These numbers are obviously, you know, like, they feel like such small numbers, so sometimes it's like frustrating to look at. But just taking a glance here, why don't we just quickly highlight which one was actually the cheapest in each case, or where did I get the most Bitcoin? And the result was actually a little bit shocking to me, but we'll turn this into a price savings here in a moment too. But look at this. Between BlockFi, I got 901 Bitcoin over here. Here I got 909, so I actually got more here. And over at Gemini, I got 89, which is less. Then over here, actually, that's the least. So maybe we could use a different color for the least. Here, we'll use blue for the least right here. BlockFi, 177. Okay, and we got 179 over here. So Robinhood was actually more. And blue. And actually, if you go through this, I'll just stay on the same color here. If you go through this, every single time, Gemini came in with the worst pricing. I got the lowest amount of Bitcoin. I got the second best pricing at BlockFi, which many of you know that I've been recommending going to metkevin.com/BlockFi to sign up for an account and get a free up to $250 when you deposit money. I'm going to explain that in a second because this is going to take some explaining. We got to talk about Robinhood and BlockFi here, okay? We got some explaining to do. But anyway, take a look at this. Every single time, Robinhood beat. That's 5 trials, and every single time, Robinhood, the one where you don't actually own your own coin, right? It's just buying basically what's the price here, and Robinhood says in the future they're gonna have a crypto wallet where you could actually transfer your own coin, which is gonna be awesome. But Robinhood doesn't have that reputation for being the place to go to for crypto, but in terms of pricing here, Robinhood won. In fact, take a look at this. If I just go in and I do the average price I paid through 5 transactions, what was the average price of Bitcoin I paid? Here you go. The average price is the very last one here because we did 5 trials, right? We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one is the formula for average. So I paid an average of $57,118 at Gemini, paid an average of $56,000 at Robinhood, and an average of $56,400 at BlockFi. So hands down here, at least in my experiment, and I did these, by the way, just so you know, I did them in random orders too. Like I would do Gemini, BlockFi, Robinhood. Then I'd do like Robinhood, BlockFi, Gemini. And I'd switch them up on purpose because I was just trying to get a general average. And it'd be one thing if these were like crisscrossing, right? Where it's like sometimes BlockFi's cheaper, sometimes Robinhood's cheaper. That would just be, I would attribute that to market fluctuations. But this right here, 5 trials, I can't attribute that to market fluctuations. Here's the actual spreadsheet where you could see this is the average formula. But anyway, let's, more interestingly, let's take a look here at the bottom, the savings, right? So the actual cash difference, let's calculate this. How much more Bitcoin would I have if I had bought everything on Robinhood? And these are the differences. So this is how much more Bitcoin I would have had if I bought the $27,000 of Bitcoin on Robinhood instead of BlockFi and Gemini. And on $27,000, I would have ended up having a total of 0.00515424 more Bitcoin, which at an average price of all of the executions I did of $56,543, I would have saved about $291. $291 on $27,000. So if I got $27,000 and I'm like, I want to put this into Bitcoin, I could have, I mean, that pays for a lot of dinners here, right? $291.44 divided by $27,000, that works out to about a little bit more than a 1% fee that I had to pay on average between BlockFi and Gemini, Gemini being the higher one. So if anything, BlockFi brought that difference down. So here's kind of how I conclude this. So if I had not used BlockFi or Gemini, if I had just used Robinhood, I would have been up $291.44. But the cool, interesting thing about BlockFi is BlockFi pays you interest on your deposits. And this gets really neat for me, in my opinion, because take a look at this. Yesterday, I got $251,000 funded into my BlockFi account because my wire went through yesterday at like 10 a.m. I streamed about how my wire went through yesterday. So this money has literally only been here for a day. And in one day, I have already accrued almost $50 of interest on that 249,382 number. So let's go to a calculator here. 48, what was it? $49.48 divided by 249. Oops. Dang it, Kevin. You know, you got to do the calculating correct here. 49.48 divided by 249, that's the account value, 382, and that fluctuates. The account value fluctuates. The interest, obviously, from yesterday doesn't, so this could fluctuate a little bit. That's in one day. So if I multiply this by 365, that's about 7.2% interest that I got paid on a day. And this is that's just multiplying with maybe a once annual compounding, right? BlockFi actually compounds your money monthly. So what's interesting about that is, and that just means you'll make more money faster, right? What's interesting about this is, first of all, I mean, this is just based on my experiment here, okay? And I could be wrong. I'm just some dude on the internet. This is certainly not a professional study. I just pulled up 3 apps and you saw what I did. I tried pressing the button as fast as possible. And I want to know what other platforms I should do this with, because I think this is a very valid and important experiment. But in my opinion, a good bottom line here to take away is, in my opinion, Gemini, it makes no sense to buy on Gemini instead of buying on BlockFi. Like some folks say, oh, buy on Gemini, transfer to BlockFi. Why? I'm paying a lot more fees. I'm going through more headache and hassle. Why would I do that? So I'm not going to do that, at least in my experiment. I don't know. Maybe things have changed. Maybe this is like day by day, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, the really cool thing would actually, and this is ironic, right? The really cool thing would be buy it on Robinhood and then transfer it to BlockFi. But you can't do that. You can't transfer out of Robinhood yet. You'd have to sell and you'd pay taxes on your gains. So obviously if you had losses, it'd be different. But that sucks. This is not possible. So since I'm planning on investing in this, cryptocurrency here, Bitcoin, for the long term, I'm okay paying a little bit of a premium, which the premium would have actually been less had I not used Gemini. It would have been a chunk less because Gemini, I mean, look at the average price difference again here, which we have in the screenshot here. On average, over at Gemini compared to BlockFi, I was paying $57,100 versus BlockFi, which was at $56,492. That's like a $600 difference there. I mean, that's crazy between the two. So, and then obviously there's that difference between Robinhood and Bitcoin and BlockFi. But going back again to the sort of bottom line here, which is right here, what would I do? Well, in my opinion, since I'm planning on keeping this funding here long term and I can't transfer from Robinhood to BlockFi, I'm just going to buy on BlockFi. I'm going to pay a little bit of a premium, but not as much of a premium as if I bought it at Gemini. Then I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to milk the interest, because the interest, and these interest rates are variable, so they can go up or down with the market. It depends. But at least right now, it looks like any kind of premium I pay at BlockFi probably is going to be gone in about 3 months. And again, the reason I say 3 months instead of 6 months is because we have the Gemini basically double the premium of BlockFi, right? So I could probably cover any BlockFi premium within 3 months. So here's a really good bottom line to all of this. Oh, and then I'm going to talk about cold storage versus hot storage. I'm just going to want to make a comment on that really quick. So here's my bottom line on this. Am I going to buy on Gemini anymore? Probably not. Maybe when I do my future experiments on versus like Coinbase Pro and some of the other platforms. Probably not going to buy on Gemini. So Gemini, if you're watching this, I'm not trying to bag on you. I mean, just come on. Like what do you expect me to say, right? If Robinhood comes out with a wallet, I'll buy on Robinhood and then transfer to BlockFi. That'll be freaking awesome. Like that'll be a really big day. But for now, because I'm planning to hold certainly for more than 3 months at BlockFi, I will go ahead and put my money into BlockFi. I will pay a tiny little bit of a premium over Robinhood, but that'll get washed with the interest I'm making at BlockFi as long as I'm holding it in BlockFi for more than 3 months. Now, there are questions about, hey, but Kevin, Gemini uses that cold storage. You should have your Bitcoin in cold storage. I'm not extremely familiar with the different forms of storage. I'm still working on educating myself on all this, but what I can tell you is and this is BlockFi telling me this, okay? But BlockFi, which by the way, if you want to get a free $250, go to metkevin.com/BF, BlockFi, metkevin.com/BF. Anyway, what they told me when I talked to them on the phone is that 95% of the cryptocurrency they have is actually stored in cold storage at Gemini. Like, it's just such a confusing world. Like, people shouldn't feel bad for being confused about cryptocurrencies. And the other 5% is sort of in like a hot wallet, and that's insured by a company called, there we go, Aeon. There we go. So, yeah, that gives you a little bit of insight here, but I have to say, I personally was shocked, especially with how much heat Robinhood gets. Certainly January 28th didn't help Robinhood, but yeah, I mean, this was a shocking experiment for me. I want to do this again, so let me know what platform you think, and let's see how we replicate this. As always, check out my programs on building your wealth, linked down below. There's a coupon code HODL or HODL, and yeah, let me know in the comments which platform's next. Share this if you found it helpful, and folks, we'll see you in the next video.